please.
Frank, can you talk about this performance, especially in the first half?
Well, you know, I thought, you know, one of the keys to the game was how we came out, and in particular with that offensively. You know, we got into a flow early, and then he did the same thing late, you know, which he typically does. So I think he settled everybody else down.
Anthony gave you some big minutes tonight, especially down the stretch. Talk about
He was rock solid. I mean, you know, here's a guy that, you know, as the game changed, you know, we're playing man and zone, mostly zone when he was in, but we played some man, so we've got to do that. He had to deal with how we were managing the game down the stretch, whether we were going with a set, or whether we were going motion to a set, or whether we were going motion. And then he had to deal with the press as they started to turn the heat up. You know, they come after you, then they back it off, and then they go after the next. So he's got to make reads, he's got to make decisions. He was spectacular. Defensively, offensively, his decision making when we ran sets, he was precision-like. And just throw for him.
Fran, can you talk about?
Sorry.
Fran, can you talk about the three that Eric hit with a minute left? Kind of was the final dagger.
That was the one who put it away. You know, and I certainly wasn't surprised. Rick, I know you weren't. He's been playing like that all year long. You know, I kept looking at, you know, I got to get him out, but I just didn't feel like we could take him out. Defensively, offensively, he did everything right.
Can you talk about the play from Woodbury and Marble going up against Wells and Len? You know, those two of the tougher matchups that Maryland
I thought
has.
Woody was tremendous. You know, he was physical. He moved his feet. Got a little foul trouble in the second half, but I thought really battled, utilized his size. You know, affected the game for us. Gave us some transition opportunities. You know, Wells is a handful. You know, down the stretch, he was putting his head down and going. But I thought we did a pretty good job on him collectively. I think, you know, when you look at those two guys in particular, it's got to be a collective effort.
Can either of you just speak to the upcoming matchup against Baylor? What do you see from them? How do you think that's going to, you know, match up?
You know, they're just a team, you know, with a lot of weapons. You know, they're long, they're athletic, and when you have a general like that, you know, he puts your defense in jail every time he brings it down. And then they've got length, and they've got offensive rebounders, and you know they're going to challenge us. They're going to push it. You know, we're comfortable playing, you know, an up-tempo game like that. But this will be a particularly difficult
They
challenge.
would make those little runs, close it to 6, close it to 4, and you guys responded. Just talk about how you guys responded.
I thought one of the keys was, you know, there was a stretch there. We were fouling a lot early, you know, and they got into the bonus quick. They got into the double bonus pretty early. We were not. And I thought one of the critical things was, you know, we started going inside, we started driving the ball so that we did get to the bonus, you know, and so that when these guys went up there, we, you know, if they were figuring they were going to be aggressive with us having the lead, we got to be able to get to the free throw line and stem the tide that way, and then we can get our defense back off made free throws, and we shot free throws well.
Coach, in the first half, you guys forced a lot of turnovers, and you were in the second half, you guys got into foul trouble kind of early. Did that affect your ability to force those turnovers as the game went on?
Well, yeah, in this regard, you know, it forced us to play more zone. You know, we were a little reluctant. There was a couple times where we wanted to shift back to the man and didn't feel like we could because they were going off the dribble and we were already in the bonus and we didn't want to commit any more fouls. We had, at that point in time, 3 guys with 3, and I just didn't want to risk any further foul trouble, so we stayed in the zone, which, you know, created some longer possessions for them and enabled us to kind of, you know, guard our area, not chop them as much.
Fran, you kind of addressed what I'm about to ask, but how do you keep guys from not sort of going into a shell when they have foul trouble like that? How do you get guys to stay aggressive and maintain their poise?
You know, I think there's a lot of ways you can answer that. You know, no matter what you do, it's typically a function of who they are. You know, what kind of characters does that athlete possess? we encourage them to continue to be aggressive and to continue to make plays and not be tentative. I try to take them out when they get 2 in the first half so they can be a little more aggressive in the second half when they get 3. But I thought in particular, Zach and Woodbury were very good in that respect tonight.
Coach, how would you assess Woodbury's play defending Lynn tonight?
I thought he was spectacular. In the first half in particular, when he was really matched up with a man-to-man, I thought he moved his feet. I thought he moved with the ball. He got his high end up, and he got in front, and he really understood angles and made it difficult for him. In the second half, we played a lot more zone when he was in there and when he wasn't in there. He wasn't matched up with him as much, but even then, he was aware of him, and he bodied up and at least limited some of the rebounding opportunities he would have had.
Anything else for Coach? We good?
Thank you.